New York City, a concrete jungle where dreams are built, quite literally, among the clouds. With its unmistakable skyline, it's a city synonymous with innovation, ambition, and engineering marvels. But what happens when that ambition teeters on the edge of catastrophe? Today, we unravel the untold story of the Citicorp Tower, an iconic skyscraper that nearly caused one of the worst disasters in modern history. New York City wasn't always the towering metropolis we know today. In the mid-1800s, it was a growing city, limited by its geography but fueled by ambition. With Manhattan's narrow island footprint, space was a premium commodity, and the only direction to expand was up. The advent of steel frame construction and elevators revolutionized urban design, giving birth to the skyscraper. By the late 19th century, cities like Chicago and New York were racing to dominate the skyline. New York quickly pulled ahead, crafting architectural icons that not only redefined the city but became global symbols of innovation and progress. The Woolworth Building, completed in 1913, was dubbed the Cathedral of Commerce, and the Chrysler Building, with its dazzling Art Deco spire, epitomized the opulence of the Roaring Twenties. In 1931, the Empire State Building soared to unprecedented heights, claiming the title of the world's tallest building. This marked New York as the definitive capital of skyscrapers, where ambition and engineering met to create wonders of the modern world. But as the decades passed, New York's skyline continued to evolve. By the 1970s, modernist architecture had taken center stage, emphasizing clean lines, functional design, and a minimalist aesthetic. It was during this era that the Citicorp Tower made its debut, a building that would quietly challenge the boundaries of engineering and, unknowingly, risk the safety of an entire city. Towering at 915 feet, the Citicorp Tower wasn't just another addition to the skyline. It was an engineering marvel, celebrated for its innovative design and bold structure. But behind its sleek aluminium facade lay a hidden floor, one that would remain undiscovered until a sharp-eyed student stumbled upon it just a year later. Fast forward to the 1970s, and the skyline was undergoing another transformation. Among the newcomers was the Citicorp Tower, a gleaming, 59-story skyscraper in Midtown Manhattan, completed in 1977. Designed by renowned architect Hugh Stubbins and structural engineer William LeMessurier, it was a marvel of modern engineering. The Citicorp Tower was unlike any other. It featured a distinctive stilted design, elevating the building 9 stories above ground to accommodate the nearby St. Peter's Lutheran Church. This bold decision meant the tower's support columns were placed at the center of each side, rather than the corners, creating an unprecedented engineering challenge. From its inception, the Citicorp Tower was a collaboration between architect Hugh Stubbins and structural engineer William LeMessurier. While Stubbins focused on the aesthetics, ensuring the building stood out with its sleek aluminium cladding and angled roof, LeMessurier tackled the structural challenges posed by the unconventional design. This partnership was a perfect example of architecture and engineering working hand in hand. Stubbins envisioned a building that respected the church's presence on the lot, while LeMessurier pushed the limits of what structural engineering could achieve. To manage wind loads and ensure stability, LeMessurier designed an innovative system of diagonal braces that connected the building's core to its outer frame. These braces transferred stress efficiently, allowing the building to stand tall despite its unorthodox design. However, the decision to use bolted joints instead of welded ones was made during construction as a cost-saving measure. While bolts were easier and faster to install, this small compromise would later prove to be a critical oversight. When the Citicorp Tower was unveiled, it was celebrated as a modernist masterpiece. Its angled roof and elevated base gave it a futuristic appearance, and the public marveled at the boldness of its design. Critics called it an architectural triumph, and it quickly became a symbol of New York's ambition and innovation in the late 20th century. But as the world admired its beauty, no one suspected the hidden danger that lurked within its walls. In 1978, just 1 year after the Citicorp Tower was completed, a graduate student named Diane Hartley was studying the building's structural design. During her calculations, she noticed something unusual. The building's engineers had accounted for winds hitting its sides directly, but what about quartering winds, those hitting at a 45-degree angle? Quartering winds are particularly insidious, as they apply diagonal pressure on a building, straining it in ways that perpendicular winds do not. Hartley's calculations revealed a terrifying possibility: the Citicorp Tower's diagonal braces, which were bolted rather than welded as originally planned, might not withstand these forces. This design flaw made the building vulnerable to a potential collapse during a hurricane-strength storm. The decision to use bolts instead of welds, while cost-effective and faster, drastically reduced the structural integrity of the building. Under high wind pressure, these bolted joints could shear or fail, setting off a catastrophic chain reaction. Realizing the gravity of her findings, Hartley informed her professor, who urged her to escalate the issue. The alarming discovery eventually reached the desk of William Le Mesurier, the building's original structural engineer. When Le Mesurier re-examined the calculations, he was horrified. He realized that the building's safety margin was far smaller than it should have been, and a hurricane-force storm could trigger a collapse, putting thousands of lives at risk in the heart of Manhattan. It was a chilling realization. The very design hailed as an engineering triumph was, in fact, a ticking time bomb. Le Mesurier knew immediate action was required, but the stakes were incredibly high. How do you fix a skyscraper without alarming the public or jeopardizing its occupants? End quote. The enormity of the problem weighed heavily on William Le Mesurier. The potential for disaster was undeniable, and the need for secrecy was paramount. The question was not just how to fix the Citicorp Tower, but how to do so without causing a public panic or alerting the media to the issue. In a confidential meeting with Citicorp executives, Le Mesurier laid out the problem. His proposal was daring: to retrofit the building by welding steel plates over the bolted joints of the diagonal braces, thus restoring their strength to withstand quartering winds. The plan was clear, but execution was a logistical challenge. Work needed to be carried out swiftly and discreetly, ensuring the building remained operational while repairs were underway. This meant working almost exclusively at night, with welding crews entering and leaving under the cover of darkness. For 3 months, welders worked tirelessly, installing steel reinforcements across all critical joints. During the day, business continued as usual in the Citicorp Tower, with most occupants completely unaware of the high-stakes operation happening above them. Meanwhile, New York was in the midst of hurricane season, adding another layer of urgency. Le Mesurier and the team coordinated with emergency services to draft evacuation plans in case a storm approached before the repairs were complete. Fortunately, no hurricane struck Manhattan that summer, and the reinforcement project was completed without incident. The Citicorp Tower, once a symbol of innovation, had quietly become a testament to the importance of responsibility and swift action in the face of potential disaster. The crisis had been averted, but the story of the Citicorp Tower would go on to reshape the world of engineering forever. Today, the Citicorp Tower stands as a testament to human ingenuity and humility. It's a story of how even the most brilliant minds can make mistakes, but also how taking responsibility can save lives. The Citicorp Tower case is now a staple of engineering ethics courses, teaching the importance of rigorous analysis, accountability, and never cutting corners, literally or figuratively. The lessons learned from Citicorp have shaped the industry, ensuring that designs account for every possible scenario, from wind dynamics to connection types. It's a legacy of safety that echoes across every modern skyscraper. The Citicorp Tower taught the world that innovation and caution must go hand in hand. It's a reminder that even the smallest oversight can have massive consequences, but also that every mistake is an opportunity to grow and learn. As we look to the future, the Citicorp Tower reminds us of the delicate balance between ambition and accountability. It stands not just as a skyscraper but as a symbol of resilience, responsibility, and the power of collaboration in solving even the most daunting challenges. From New York to Dubai, every great structure carries the lessons of its predecessors, ensuring that the mistakes of the past pave the way for stronger, safer designs. The Citicorp Tower's story may have begun with a flaw, but it ends with a legacy that ensures we continue reaching for the sky, one solid step at a time.